Hello traders, and welcome to part 4 of the Learn to Trade series. Now in this video we are going to be taking a very quick look at some of the main bullish and bearish reversal patterns that you can get on your charts. Okay, so in the previous video we were looking at our continuation patterns. Now that is when price comes up, starts to put in a consolidation, and then continues in the direction from which it came. Now the big difference here is we are looking at these as reversal patterns. So you're looking for price to change the direction in which it is going. So in these examples are bullish reversal patterns. You are looking for the end of a downtrend, which then reverses to start to form an uptrend. Or on your bearish reversal patterns, you are looking for an uptrend, an end of an uptrend that reverses to form the beginnings of a downtrend. Okay. So first of all, we are going to look at our head and shoulders pattern and our inverted head and shoulders pattern. So this is probably one of the most common patterns that you will find as a reversal. Okay, so it's as the name sounds. Okay, so what you can see here is a left shoulder forming, followed by this head up at the top here. Then you have a right shoulder that forms straight after that. You have a line at the bottom here that is your support line. So you are looking at this, and this is called your neckline. Okay, so what you often get with these moves is you're having a move up, you put in a high, forming your left shoulder, put in a low, forming the beginning of this neckline. You have a further move up to form this head, come back down into the area where this neckline had formed. So you're looking for the same area in which you had this left shoulder, the low, the swing low off of this point. You're looking for it to come back into there, have a move up around the same area as this left shoulder to form a right shoulder, and then you get a continuation or a reversal, a continuation of obviously this down sloping structure, but a reversal of this larger structure that has formed. And that's another important thing on these, is you are looking at these as being slightly larger formations, because what you could then start to do is start to put this down into, okay, we're having a move down. Maybe this starts to put in a wedge or a flag or something along those lines in order to then get this continuation from this larger structure that is playing out. So these reversal patterns are often on a higher time frame or slightly larger than what you would see on your continuation patterns that we were looking at in the previous video. Little sidetrack. So what we are then looking at on the inverted head and shoulders is just the opposite. Okay, so you have this left shoulder, then your head, your right shoulder, and then a reversal out of it from this neckline. Okay, so I'm going to go over and just take a very quick look at this on the chart first of all, and we have an example of that recently on Bitcoin. Okay, so let me just see if you can see it on this chart just here. Okay, so what we're looking at here, you can see first of all a very clear line or area of support that is formed within this region. Okay, what does price do as it's coming up into it? It seems to form this shoulder that comes in to this support area, has this move up. Now you get a couple of peaks on this, but has this move up, ultimately creating this head, so a higher high, before then coming back down into this same area of support, creating this right shoulder here, coming back into this area of support, and then getting that breakdown, which causes this reversal from a move up into this pattern, and then getting this move down out of it. Okay, so that is one example, just very recent example of a head and shoulders pattern that has formed on the Bitcoin chart. Now these often aren't the cleanest of patterns. Okay, so what you are looking for ultimately is you want to be seeing your neckline as being either horizontal or slightly uptrending in order to get the most out of these patterns. So you'll be looking at this maybe as having a neckline that starts from around here, comes up to here, and you can see this as being slightly uptrending, and then you get a test of this neckline before another move down. Okay, so this is just the very basic head and shoulders pattern. Again, what you can do on TradingView, if you do have TradingView, you can go onto your toolbar here on the left hand side. You can pull up your head and shoulders pattern and you can start to draw this out. So you can go from this low You got a high, you come into this neckline, you form the head up here, you come down back in to this area, you then form your right shoulder, and then of course what happens, it completes and you get that move down, causing this reversal in price. So that is your head and shoulders pattern, and we'll have a look at some other examples of that in just a minute. Next, we have our double bottom and our double top formation. So again, what you're looking for, let's take the double bottom for an example. You are looking for a move down. You come down into these lows, you have a bounce off of those lows, which starts to create a resistance level. You come back, you test those lows again, those lows hold, and then you get a reversal through that resistance up to reverse the trend in which it's come from. Again, with the double top, you're looking for this to make a high. You have a pullback from that high. You test those highs again. It cannot get any higher. So from this, what you could be seeing is a move up, then this bull flag formation forming, which would often give you this as a continuation pattern. And yes, that would have given you a continuation pattern because you did see a move up out of it. But it was failing to get continuation at this point, saw resistance at the same area. So ultimately saw a large rejection because it had not failed once, it had failed twice. You see a large rejection that causes a reversal in price. So let's go back to the chart here and let's start to see if we can see anything that maybe looks a little bit like that on this chart. So here's a nice example here, okay? So what do we see on Bitcoin? We have a big move down, okay? Comes into this area around $40,850, okay? Gets this bounce up into this zone, then comes back into almost exactly the same area of the chart as it tested before, okay? So we're looking at these wicks down here, and we're looking at this wick down here, almost exactly the same level. So this is your double bottom formation that causes this move in price, and then eventually breaking out above these highs and getting this reversal underway. Okay, so you can see the way in which price is reversed out from these lows to get some continuation higher to break above these highs just here. So what you can also call this, and you might see this being called this elsewhere, is this is a W formation, or of course if you did have it the other way, it would be your M formation. So you're looking for a breakdown of the lows of this M formation that has been formed. So you have your double bottom, your double top, or your W or M formation as a reversal pattern here. Then what do we have next? We have this diamond bottom formation or diamond top formation. And very simply, as the name suggests, once again, you're looking for a move down, in this instance on the diamond bottom formation, to form this diamond pattern. So you have these lows that come in, you create this high, it starts to be able to, you can kind of draw a box around it, this diamond box shape around it, and then you get this reversal out. Same again with the diamond top, you're able to form this box around the price action before you get this reversal. And if we do take a look at the price, what can we see? They're sometimes a little bit harder to spot on these, but we've almost got a little example of that once again within this same area that we're seeing now. So you can see price coming down here, okay? You see price coming down on these lows, and then price starts to come back up, forming these higher lows. And what do we get on the other side? If you continue that onwards, you can see these highs up here, these higher highs up here, and then you can bring that down. And yes, it's not the neatest, but you can see that diamond shape start to form. And that's the thing with trading. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be the neatest pattern in the world. But if you were just to draw a box around this as a diamond, you can start to see that formation forming. And what that would give you is you see this move down into it, starts to bounce around within this diamond bottom formation. And what you'd be expecting to see is a reversal that comes out and takes out these highs, okay? So that is mainly, or these highs, that's the diamond bottom formation that you are seeing here. And again, we'll see if we can spot anything on up at the top here. Nothing so much on these highs. Nothing so much on these lows. Nothing so much on these lows. Nothing so much on these highs. Nothing so much on these lows. Nothing so much on these highs. 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 Nothing so much on th this possibly gives you a little example. Okay, so you can see once again here, you can put this into just this bit of a structure that's formed before you get the move up. You chop around, creating this diamond top before getting this reversal. Okay, so once again, you can see not perfect, but it does get that reversal out of this with that change of market structure with your lower high at this point, and then getting this continuation to the downside. Okay, and then finally what we're going to have a look at is your harmonics. Now we're just going to touch on these very, very briefly because there are a lot of different harmonics that you can trade. But this leads on to some videos that are further on within this series that will be coming later. And also, if you would like to learn more about these, then we do offer a lot of education on that, more advanced education within the crew membership as well. Okay, so this is a bullish harmonic and a bearish harmonic. Now, without going into detail, what these basically are is a series of Fibonacci retracements. So Fibonacci levels will be on subsequent videos to this. You'll be able to look at the Fibonacci levels and start to learn a little bit more about these harmonics, but you're looking at a series of harmonic retracements that then cause a reversal in price. So you can see this bullish harmonic. This here is called a Gartley pattern. So you have a low, you have a high, you come back, you retrace part of that move, you then put in this lower high and then this higher low. So you have that slight change of market structure before getting a reversal out of price. And then what you're seeing here is a different form of harmonic. Okay, this is called the cipher. So then you have a move that comes up to your high, your low, you have another low, and then you put in a high and then a reversal out of that. Okay, so these are different harmonics that can be traded, and we will of course be able to do more on these in the future, but we can have a quick look and just see if there are any examples of this on these charts as well. So what you're mainly looking at from these is you have, whoops, you have these series of patterns that start to emerge. So you can form this as an X, A, B. You're coming up here and then you're coming down here, and you start to create these patterns that start to look a little bit like this. Okay, and you can start to form these patterns from a series of these Fibonacci levels, which you can see with these numbers down here, which then gives you a reversal of price from where it came from. Okay, so again, that's just a very quick example. I'm not going to be able to go into a lot of detail of that in this video, but again, we will be covering those in further videos. So just very quickly, let's zoom out a little bit here, and what we'll do and see, I'll pause this for again like 20 seconds and we'll see if you can spot any of the formations that I have mentioned within this video on this chart, and we'll just have a very quick look at and see if there is anything else on here. Okay. Okay, so if you had said maybe seeing a head and shoulders formation up at the top here, I'd say that would be one that is very, very, very valid. Okay, so you can see here, this is called almost like a complex head and shoulders. So you're seeing a left shoulder at this point with almost these two peaks forming this head. You have your neckline, quite a clear upsloping neckline being formed. You have a move into it, forms this head. So let me just clean this up a bit. You have a neckline, you have a left shoulder, you have your head being formed with these two peaks, you have your right shoulder, and then from this move up, you then get a reversal in price to the downside. Okay, so that's a nice example there of the head and shoulders pattern playing out. Anything else that we could possibly see on this? We do have maybe a small example of this diamond bottom formation on here. So again, you can see with these these highs that start to slope up, these lows that start to slope down, and again, lows sloping down, highs sloping up, okay, on this one. And again, down here, you can kind of get something similar out of that with these lows that do form. And of course, if we're looking for another double bottom, you do have this with these same areas at these lows. So we can just zoom in onto this little section of the chart. See a move down, you come in, test the same level and get that reversal. Okay, so that has given you just a very quick few examples on this. And once again, this is not meant as any massively complex video. This is just for you to start training your eye to start noticing these patterns which can occur on these charts, and yeah, really just start to have a look. And if you would like to learn more about these, then of course the next videos more information will come on these patterns. So thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for the next one. Cheers, bye.